Okay, learned something new from my little part one lecture that YouTube will shut you down after 15 minutes. I didn't realize that I'd gone that long on the first video, so it cut me off when I was discussing your professional resource staff and those individuals, whether they're counselors, supervisors, whatever their titles are wonderful resource people to have around to be able to help us prepare for, like, Carl Perkins funding, provide us with professional type of resources like teaching aids and things like that, that we can use. The last group, and I can't say enough about these individuals from my experience at the secondary and post-secondary level, is a custodial staff. These individuals help maintain the school, and our labs are an integral part of that school plant. And there's going to be some times that you're going to need these people, and just understand that their schedules are going to be very, very tight. And if your school has 20 faculty and you've got some issues that need to be addressed, chances are the other 19 have the same issues or other issues, and there's just never enough custodial staff to be able to go around. And I'll also throw in maintenance staff. You may have your people into either one of those categories, or if your school is like mine, they do it all. And there are just things that are going to break, and that these individuals may have the expertise to be able to fix those things and repair them. And just know that they have to do a whole lot more than just our requests. They have a whole lot to do, and unfortunately don't make a whole lot of money doing it. But they are integral to the success of any of our programs, and so pat them on the back whenever you get the opportunity, because they have a very, very, very difficult job to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the fourth slide here. What to do about your first day of teaching. One of the things I might want to ask y'all to do is to put together maybe another thread to kind of describe your first day of teaching. I'm still kind of new to the way that Joule or Moodle does the discussion groups, and so I'm still kind of getting a feel for that. But I'm going to try to, after Labor Day, post a new thread where we'll all have an opportunity to kind of say a little bit about our experiences from our first day of teaching. Hopefully for most of you that's going to be fairly recent events, but for me, I may have to go back and kind of remember some things. But I do remember vividly some wrong things that I did for the first day of school for my first job, and so I'll kind of share those with you all in that new discussion board. So be looking for that in the next few days. First thing that you ought to do is just introduce yourself and give the opportunity to your students to introduce themselves, because they're going to be working and dealing with their classmates over 180 days or 18 months, depending upon how long your program lasts. The next thing you can take a look at is the course requirements. What are those students going to be responsible for during the time that they're with you? Uh, do they need books? Do they need supplies? Do they need lab equipment, lab fees? Like in the case of our nursing programs, they have to have shots, they have to have a physical, and also our truck drivers require a physical. Maybe your program doesn't, but whatever's specific to you, you need to lay that out right up in front the first day. Students also need to know how they're going to be graded. It's very important that you are very clear about how you're going to arrive at grades and what kind of grade system that you're going to use. Our nurses use like a 7-point scale where it works out that anything less than an 80 is a failing grade. For most of us, though, we're on a strict 10-point system. I know I used a 10-point system when I taught high school. Some schools systems use a different one. Just know what it is and use it, and make sure that the students know about it. I guess the most important thing on this particular slide are the safety requirements. Every one of our occupations, no matter what it is, has some safety issues that our students need to know. They should never get into a lab until they know the safety rules, and you lay that out from day one of what's required, and hold them to it. They're going to have to deal with it whenever they go to work. OSHA has safety requirements for every occupation that's out there, and they're going to be drilled about those things when they go to work. And if they don't adhere to them, they're gone. So lay them out the first day of class and spend time with them, and make sure that they know and understand those safety requirements. Discipline, it's just not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when you're going to deal with discipline problems. They may be range from very minor to very, very serious. Know your discipline policy at your school or your high school or school parish system at the secondary level. They should have a student handbook that lays all of that stuff out. At our technical colleges, during our orientation for all new students, they are given some documents, and one of those documents deals with discipline, so they know exactly, the procedure that's going to be followed if they break any of the school rules or else have to be disciplined. So get used to it. It's just part of the job, because we deal with people, and people are always doing things that we wouldn't want them to do, or else try to push the boundaries of their behavior on us. So be fair, be consistent in your discipline. For those at the high school or secondary level, attendance procedures. Call roll every hour. Do you post your roll? Do they pick it up at the end of the day? Because when I was teaching high school, student didn't show up for class. There was this automated phone system that would automatically call the students' parents to see if they were out of school that day or just weren't skipping out. And it was important that we had our rolls out there at 5 minutes after class started, because somebody would go around, pick them all up, and process them. We need to know the students are in class. And to do that is to call roll and keep attendance. And you may want to give, let's say, I shouldn't call it an attendance grade, but yet you can give some incentives, let's call it like that, for attending class. And let's face it, a student that rarely misses is going to be a good worker. Those kinds of behaviors are going to transfer over to the workplace. We have students that will have a very, very difficult time coming to school because they have other agendas. And we're trying to teach those behaviors of consistency. I had a prospective employer when I was teaching drafting tell me something that really hit home about this. I went to Lafayette to a drafting company that was new there in town in the mid-'80s, and I made an appointment to talk with the owner of the company, and I had all of my nice presentation information about our program and all kind of good stuff that I thought was great. And so I kind of went into my little routine explaining about our program and saying how wonderful it was and all that. And the guy just kind of held up his hands like this, said, "Stop." And I did. He said, "Look," he said, "I'm sure all of this stuff is great." But he said, can you do two things for me? Can you send me a student that's, one, going to show up for work, and two, not steal from me? And he said, if you can do that, I'll hire as many students as you can give me. And on my way back to school, just driving, I said, I thought about his request, and that's pretty much what we are trying to do. Send somebody out there that's going to work for a good day's wage, and be productive, and also be honest in their dealings with within and without of the organization. So it all gets down to attendance. I know it's a little digressing, but yet attendance is important to our students. Next thing you may want to do is provide a little tour of your facilities, a little tour of the lab area, kind of show them where things are, show them the layout. In some of your schools, like if you're like mine, our nurses are kind of spread out all over one building, and so they need to know what lab they need to be in at a certain time. And so we don't think our students know where they need to be. We need to show them this is what you're going to be working with, or where you need to be at a certain time and in a certain place. Normally the beginning of the semester, the beginning of the school year is chaotic to begin with. In my situation, here we are, Labor Day weekend. Chances are when I go back to school Tuesday, there's going to be some new students, since we take students up to 14 days till after we start. And you may be in the same situation. Those first few days, not a lot of teaching gets done, but yet some things have to happen so our students can kind of ease into the routine. At the secondary level, I never really started teaching until the third week, because there was always something going on. Getting books to students, getting all kinds of paperwork done for students. So I had some little activities that I would kind of utilize to have them do those first few days of class, to kind of get them into the routine. And at my high schools, there were always meetings at the first part of the year for these students, especially like junior, senior, freshman, sophomore,